Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces, introducing you to the Dimplex Prism series of wall-mounted linear electric fireplaces. We've recently reintroduced the Prism into our showroom here because we find that it is a really nice option and an alternative to some of the newer linear fireplaces. This is Dimplex's original linear fireplace, long before the Ignite XLF series and the newer Ignite products. It still has a really great natural looking flame, as you can see next to me here. That flame does not have all the bells and whistles and adjustments of some of the newer linear fireplaces, but it is still incredibly realistic looking. So the color is a yellow natural looking flame and the speed is set. Those are not things I can adjust. It is called Prism because of all of the color options that are available around the flame. So there are some colors that I can change here. So I'm changing the color of the ember bed. Like other linear fires that have come since the Prism, those colors are preset until I get to the last couple of options where the colors will cycle through. And as they're cycling through, if I see a combination that I particularly like, I can hit the asterisk, and that's like a pause button, and it will hold that color combination for me on that color. There are literally an infinite number of colors on this Prism because of those settings where it cycles through the entire color wheel and then allows me to choose which one I want to hold. So you can see it cycling through behind me, and I could stop it anywhere along the way and hold that color. And then when I go off of that, it just will revert to midnight mode or no extra colors. Lots of options to choose from, like there are on subsequent introductions from Dimplex. The Prism had all of those color options first. It comes standard with the crystal ember bed that you see here. There is a log kit, a driftwood and stone log kit that will fit into this unit if I prefer to have something other than crystals. It is a little taller than the standard linear fireplace, typically that you would see now, where they're 16 to 17 inches tall. This is 19.5 inches tall. If you want a little more substance to your linear fire, this would have it. It is glass from edge to edge. The only metal is across the top. Otherwise, it's a very clean, modern glass edge-to-edge profile. And the heat would come out across the top if I want the heat. It does have a fully functioning heater. It is thermostat controlled, like any other of the Dimplex linear fires that have come since. I can set the thermostat, say I want the room at 20 Celsius or 70 Fahrenheit, and it will keep me at that temperature by modulating the fan and the heater to get me to that temperature. In the 34 and 50 inch sizes, this is 120 volt only. In the 74 inch size, it is dual voltage, so I could connect it to 120 or 240. If we're connected to 240 volts, we have more power for the heater. You can see the flame flickering along here. I'm not able to change the speed of that. It is meant to look very natural, and it does. This is a very flexible installation. It is fully flush in a 2x8 opening. The whole unit is about 7.5 inches deep. It is stepped at the back. The back 4 inches can fit into 2x4 construction, and if I want to, we can also mount it on the wall surface, which is what we've done in our showroom. This is a very flexible installation for this particular linear fireplace, and not all subsequent Dimplex linears have that flexibility. We really like the option that we can mount it on the wall, partially in the wall, or completely in the wall, depending on the situation that we have. And because it's zero clearance, of course, we can mount it into any sort of millwork or cabinetry. The heat is going to blow out the front regardless of how we install it. It's perfectly safe to have your TVs or artwork above, as it would be on any of our other linear fireplaces. The Prism series also has standby mode. What that means is I can leave the heater engaged and turn off the flames. So if I choose to turn on the heater and I set it, I can leave the heater set and turn off the flames. And when I do that, that's called standby mode. The heater is set. Overnight here in our showroom, we like to leave some of our fireplaces with the heaters on overnight during the colder weather. It allows us to get up to temperature more quickly in the morning because we do use our fireplaces to heat our showroom in the winter. So we do like standby mode, and this fireplace has it. It also has a timer. You can see that with the hourglass here. So I can set the timer to have the entire fireplace turn itself off after the timer elapses. The heater will take care of itself. It won't run if we're already at the temperature we want. Sometimes I want to be able to have the fireplace turn off completely because maybe somebody's going to forget about it, or maybe they're going to fall asleep in front of it. So we like to be able to use the timer function for that. Of course, the glass here will not get hot to the touch even when the heater is on, so it is safe for families. This is a plug-in unit. It could be hardwired if you wanted to, and on the 74-inch, if you're connecting to 240 volts, of course it will be hardwired. There will not be a plug for that function on 240 volts, and that's all normal for an electric fireplace. Again, this is the Dimplex Prism series. It comes in 3 sizes, 34, 50, and 74. One of the reasons we have reintroduced it is it gives us a Dimplex linear fireplace that's under 50 inches wide. Subsequent models have started at 50 inches and gone up to 100 inches. The Prism series comes in a 34. Sometimes we want the Dimplex flame, but we don't have space for a 50-inch fire. So this gives us an option less than 50 inches. One of the other reasons that we've recently reintroduced it to our showroom. You can find it at stylishfireplaces.ca. It would be under linear in-wall as well as linear on-wall fireplaces. You could compare this to any other linear fireplace. Generally, you will find a standard linear will be a little shorter, so things like the Dimplex Ignite, the Dimplex Ignite Evolve, the Amante Symmetry Series, Lumina, and Bespoke, they would all be a little bit shorter than this with their metal borders around them. This is not quite as tall as something like the Amante Symmetry Extra Tall, which would be 22 inches high. It's somewhere in between. It still looks linear, however, it's a little bit more substantial than some of the other linear fires, not quite as tall as an extra tall linear fire. All of our linear fireplaces are at stylishfireplaces.ca. You can shop for the Prism by brand and look under Dimplex, or shop by style and look under linear on wall and linear in wall, because it can go both ways. All of that is at stylishfireplaces.ca.